Real quick today, we're going to do a quick walkthrough of the food forest and what's happening. So we'll start here with this young-ish walnut. Putting on a few walnuts this year. I'd say it's probably 5-6 years in the ground and about 10 feet tall. And zoom back a little bit so you can see. And moving to the right here, that's just a rhodie that's been transplanted, not edible. Here is a Stanley plum, a couple years old, and no fruit this year, but just kind of getting settled in. And I've been using these branch spreaders. Before I was actually pruning to shape, but I found that I would lose a little bit of age because I'd have to wait for new branches to come in, and by using this method I can just spread to the angle that I want. So moving to our right here, my daughter's playhouses. And here is the mate to the walnut. This guy here is a another English walnut, and same age as that one over there, but this one's much bigger, much faster growing, and also earlier bearing. So it's got a little bit of something going on there, like a gall, but seems to outgrow it, or at least maybe not outgrow it, but doesn't seem to bother it too much. And you can see it's got probably 40 or 50 walnuts on it, so not too bad for a youngish tree. And this one here is, I don't know if you can see that, this one's called Ambassador. Going to the right here, this is an Iranian white mulberry. This has been a really fast grower for me. Only a couple years in the ground, and it's a good 7 feet tall. And doing well. No fruit yet, but I think it's going to be coming on soon. This is our little, we call it the Mini Cooper. It's where we put the hens that are eating eggs and stuff so that we can isolate them. This is a cribbage nectarine. Back up a little bit here. And this guy is 3 years in the ground, has some fruit on it this year, and I guess it's 15 feet tall. And normally I prune to kind of an open center, but I found that for me the nectarines and the peaches for some reason do better when they're young. They seem to get less disease, and I've tried different timings, but for me, they've just done better if I kind of let them grow a little bit more as a standard and then open them up a little bit when they're aged. So that's what I've been doing there. Here's a couple little blueberries. No fruit this year. We had a super dry summer last year, and I think that affected our fruiting on blueberries. A couple young peach here. This is a Nanaimo, and this little guy here, along with the one over here, are Himalayan honeysuckles, and they make kind of a, I would say a chocolate, like a dark chocolate flavored fruit. And you can see that they're starting to flower. They don't actually ripen until the fall, but that's the Himalayan honeysuckle, and they will actually kind of die back on me on a colder year, but they always resprout. And let's see, this guy here is a Blueberry, young one, hasn't fruited yet, and I've got some more figs I'm adding here. I'll show you some other figs in the other part of the yard here soon. This is a 20th century Asian pear, and if the light's gonna let me get a good picture of it, it's kind of afternoon here, so the angle's kind of nasty, but this is our strawberry patch. Sorry, this is probably terrible filming. Let's see, here is another, this is a yellow egg plum. So some of this stuff here is pretty young. This is kind of starting at the younger side of the yard. This guy is an aronia, which they get pretty big, and I actually find the fruit to be pretty decent. I mean, some people would find it too sour straight up, but I kind of enjoy them when they get pretty ripe. And even at that, we make fruit leather and some other things with it, like jams and jellies and stuff. So okay, here is another Blueberry, which has a good amount of fruit in it. They have a very vertical growth habit, and they're kind of hard to keep at an angle, you know, that I like to keep them at. So I've been using those branch spreaders. I didn't discover those until a little later, so on the other one, hoping to keep it lower. This is a cherry, a bush cherry. I think this one's called Romeo. I think this is Romeo. I have both Romeo and Juliet, and Juliet fruit's okay for me here. Romeo does not. I'm north of Seattle, and it seems like Romeo gets a disease and drops the fruit. But anyway, I mean, I've kept it just to see if it'll improve. Let's see, this is a another Nectarine. And let's zoom in here. You can see there's some starting to develop up there. And I'm trying to remember the name of this one. Nectarines and peaches just don't typically grow very well in west of the Cascades here, but I brought in all the different ones that said peach leaf curl resistant just to see if I could get one to take, and looks like several have taken, so I might have more than I need, but we'll see. If you can have more than you need of a peach or a nectarine. This is a seedling hardy kiwi that I grew and just been training it as a standard. And if you look in there, you can see it's tied to a T-pole, but end up being kind of a cool looking, almost a tree look, like a bushy tree. There's another aronia, and here's my kiwi arbor, and the hardy, so fuzzy on this side, hardy on the other side, and then I have raspberries growing in between. So don't know if that's the best combo, but it seems to be working okay. And over here you can see the hardy kiwis set and starting to fruit, and we just picked the raspberries, so not too impressive there, but we do have some in other spots. And this big guy here is a Asian persimmon, and it's probably 12 feet tall, something like that. And I have little attempts at little things between. We'll see what happens. So kind of trying to fill in the area so it is not so easily occupied by weeds. Even putting in some like little peonies and stuff. So we'll see if that space gets taken up. Some sweet woodruff under there. And go along over here. This is an Arctic kiwi. This is a male. There's actually a female hiding underneath all of that over there, but it seems to like the shade, and so I'm not too worried about it. It seems to always kind of make a little progress, so we'll see if that continues. We've got little blueberries with some comfrey under some of the fruiting trees. Here's a youngish mulberry. Oop, back up. And that guy's probably pushing 12 feet tall as well. This guy is a methyl plum, and it gives us lots of plums. They're just starting to color up a little bit. And this one, I really pruned it to an open center. Back up here so you can kind of see. And it does send up a few vertical shoots, but I'm trying to kind of control it by having lots of vertical shoots, just dividing that vertical growth by as many vertical shoots as possible to slow it down a little bit, and then I'll come back in and prune that out pretty well in the winter. And here's a little apple tree. It's funny because we grow apples pretty easy here, but at the same time I inherited some of these, and I'm not happy with the disease resistance on some of them, so I'll have to improve that. Got little figs here. Got a lot of figs hiding here and there and everywhere. There's a meter American persimmon, and that's a self-fertile version or variety. And I've got several of these. They are prickly heath, also known as a Chilean wintergreen, and they make a fruit in the fall, actually late summer, that ripens and stays on the bush all through the winter, and even grows more in the upcoming year. So kind of interesting. Okay, I'm going to stop it here because it looks like I'm about out of time on my phone. So thanks for watching.